was doing some very dangerous stuff in a very dangerous way. I'm sure you can. Today I'm going to be reflecting on gratitude. It's about 3 years ago. Today I'm going to be reflecting on gratitude. It's pretty important, right? Because you need about 1 gallon per day, right? Approximately. It takes its time, it sinks its teeth in one at a time. It loves to feed, it loves my past. It's always taunting, but somehow out of grasp. Can you hear me? 'Cause I'm lost, and nothing ever come back around. And while my heart keeps falling apart, I know I'll never be the same again. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Somebody said screen is frozen and voice is lagging. My man, I wasn't even I wasn't even on camera yet. All right, it's fixed. What's up, guys? How's it going? Live stream for Tuesday. I'm going to talk about some interesting topics. But before that, guys, you need to follow this guy. His name's Gavin Hairgrove. Okay, Gavin Hairgrove. He's a student of mine, but besides that, he has some powerful stuff that he puts on his Instagram. You know, you should really watch the videos that he puts out there. His like, as far as I can see, he films his insights or his thoughts while he's driving his car and you know, different situations, and it's powerful stuff. You know, I really enjoy that. So I think everybody should subscribe to just follow him on Instagram. It's pretty cool stuff. Today I'm going to be reflecting on gratitude. So about 3 years ago to the day, I was in the midst of some very bad habits, right? I was doing some very dangerous stuff in a very dangerous way. I'm sure you could probably use your imagination to figure that out. So anyway, long story short, I hit a nerve in my left arm. I didn't realize that's what had happened at the time. All I knew is that for an entire week, my left hand was completely numb. I could barely move it. So I spent a whole week in tears, weeping, because I really thought that I was never going to be able to play guitar again because of what I had done. Yeah, just thinking about shit like that makes me really grateful for second and third and 10th chances. Because a lot of people who made those kinds of decisions did not get as many chances as me. And to whatever it is that's been helping me out this whole time, I owe it to that to fucking succeed. That's my debt. Today I'm going to be reflecting on gratitude. Okay, Gavin Hairgrove. Check him out on Instagram. That's powerful stuff. Okay, powerful stuff. So you should really Um, yeah, I think anybody can benefit from that. Okay, so hold on. As a guitarist, I think about that kind of stuff. Powerful, rise up. Yeah, yeah. So, guys, I want to talk about certain things such as purpose, why it's so important to find your purpose, right? Why do you need your purpose? And other things, right? But as usual, if you have any questions, I'm going to go there first, right? Because these live streams are for you. I want to help you. I want to help you improve your situation in any way, shape, or form. And for that, of course, if you have any questions, put them out first. In the meantime, I'm going to talk about purpose. All right. So I hope you can hear me well. Let me use my headphones. Maybe that's. Um, hold on, let me check. All right. Just so you can hear me well. All right. Cool. Like this. So, see, success has a bunch of different parts. And when I say success, I literally mean success in any area of your life. Okay, it could be success in your business. It could be success with your fitness. It could be success with your relationships. It could be also success in your spiritual endeavors. Yes. Excuse me. So, why is it so important that you know your purpose? Right. See, success has multiple parts, right? And there's a mindset. Okay, so how do you look at things? What is the mindset that you take on to make things happen? There are techniques, okay, certain tools that you have to have in order to make things work in that specific field or realm of endeavor. And most importantly, you gotta be aligned with your purpose. You gotta be aligned with your purpose, right? Because if you do things that are not in alignment with your purpose, you will stop yourself. You will stop yourself. What does that mean? The sequence of things in life is be, do, and have. First, the beingness. You got to be very, very clear about the beingness. From the beingness, automatically the right actions arise, and from the right actions, you will have the results that you want. Be, do, and have is the sequence. So the most important thing that you have to look at is the be. Who am I? Who am I? And your purpose is very, very much aligned with who you are. We're all becoming something. So, what is your beingness? You have to be super clear about that. And the beingness has three parts to it. It's what is your goal? You are defined by your goals. What is your purpose? What is your goals? What do you really believe in? Number two, why do you want this goal? And number three, what are your values? That defines your beingness. And this beingness has to be clearly defined. And when you know your beingness, you will be able to create things that allow you to realize this purpose and this beingness. And at that point, you will stop fighting yourself. Most people live a life where they're not fully aware of their beingness. They're not fully aware of their purpose. So they do things that they have to do in order to make ends meet. They work jobs that they don't like. They live a situation that they don't like because they think they have to, because they are not aware that they have their purpose. Now, let's say the purpose is 50% of their energy, and what they think they have to do in order to survive is 40%, right? What is left? 50% here, 40% here. What is left? You got 10%. 10% is the actual energy that they have now to live their life and to create the things that they want. Where are the rest? Where's the rest of that energy? The 90%. Where are they? They're inside of the conflict that the person experiences within themselves, and that messes them up. What happens when the person finds their purpose and aligns what they do with um with their purpose? The things around them start helping them. The universe starts helping you because now you don't have these subconscious conflicts anymore. And now things just work. Things just work. You become successful. All people that are enormously successful, all people that are in some way or another exceptional in a good way, they're all in some way or another following their purpose. You know, Frank, don't we create our purpose and don't we ourselves give life meaning? I mean, to an extent, that is true. Yes, but that decision has already been made, if that makes sense. You already have a beingness, you know? You're just not aware of it yet. So at one point, you decided that you are a certain individual. And there's nothing wrong with deciding to be someone else. You can change that, but you first have to decide. And generally speaking, we have a purpose. I mean, the purpose is in some way or another, I believe, part of it is created, part of it is naturally there. But the most important thing is that you know your purpose. Yeah. Even if it's self created, you still have to know it. And when you know it, you can start aligning your life with your purpose. When you work against your purpose, you will not succeed. Most people are focused on remember the sequence was be, do, and have. Most people are focused on the doing and having. When they teach things, they're all focused on the doing and having, all the techniques, all the strategies out there. They're relatively easy to find. And there are so many people who know a lot of things, but very few people can get things done in a way where they become really successful. But why is that? It's because the beingness is not aligned with the actions, you see. So first you have to define the beingness, which you Agelos said, um, we define our purpose or we create our purpose. Okay, create it, invent it. But it is important that you find a purpose first. Frank, can someone have more than one purpose? I don't believe that. I don't believe your purpose can be something that cannot be put into, let's say, 3 words or so. It could be a little bit more complicated to explain, but it should be one direction in life. Your purpose can't contain contradictory elements. You see. Naya Revolutionary. How do you find your purpose? Um, okay. So your purpose is essentially the following thing, or here's how you find it. You have to use the principle of negation, right? Or inversion. Inversion. Okay. So we assume that when you do things that are in alignment with your purpose, you feel energized, you feel happy, and you feel um, powerful, right? That's what we're assuming. This means that the inversion of that means things that are not in your purpose or things that are not aligned with your purpose make you feel bad, they make you feel frustrated, and they rob you of your energy, right? So they're diametrically opposed. So what you do is you observe yourself and then you look at the situation and the tasks that you have to do that rob you of your energy, that make you feel bad and frustrate you. And then you define the complete opposite. And now you know the direction of your purpose, right? And as you keep doing that and keep refining that, you will sooner or later live in alignment with your purpose. Within a couple of months, you can move your life into your purpose. Let me give you an example. Let's say one of the things that you don't like to do, things that frustrate you, is working with small-minded people. That's something that I, for instance, don't like. I hate small talk. I don't like talking with small-minded people, and I don't like fake people. Okay, people that talk about insignificant stuff. right? That's my hate list. That's on my hate list, right? So what would I do now? I would create the opposite of that. Means I only want to deal and work with inspiring people, and I only want to have to deal with people that I want to deal with, right? And thankfully, my life is that. I really don't have to deal with anyone I don't want to deal with, and I'm really, really grateful for that. If I don't want to deal with a person, I don't have to. Like, there's no amount of money. It doesn't matter. I don't have to deal with people that I don't want to deal with. So I want to spend time and work with people that are open-minded, have a big mind, and talk about important concepts. And the similar thing or something similar is going to happen in your life. Okay, so you observe yourself and you just observe what you don't like, what robs you of your energy, what is frustrating to you, and then you create the complete opposite and try to move your life into that direction. Yeah, and that is, of course, not just one aspect. That there could be many on your hate list. There could be many different aspects, but you have to define the opposite of all of those and move your life into that. So our purpose is a bigger vision, a plan, a path. Yeah, you're. It is sort of like let's call it the direction that your life should move into. It's a direction that your life should move into. What are you here to do? What is it that would make you feel that you're living a life of purpose, a life of meaning, and you would really enjoy your life? You see what I mean? What would give you the energy to work and work and work and work all the time because you feel like it's worth it to bring this knowledge out there, you know? Let me tell you about my purpose. My purpose is I believe in um, I believe in the divinity of humanity. Okay, I believe that we have the potential to become a species that is, from our current perspective, godlike. It would be a superhuman race. Okay, a race that is superhuman. Maybe race has negative connotations, so let's talk about a new species of superhumans. I believe in that, and I my purpose is I want to help create that. Now, the part of that is a multidimensional existence and a an expansion of consciousness that allows for that. So I believe in a vision of humans that are literally uh almost godlike in a sense, but for real, like genetically enhanced superpowers, psychic powers, multidimensional awareness, which is necessary for a lot of stuff that needs to be done. And I see it as my purpose to help as many people in the world as I can to develop their psychic abilities and their psychic faculties so they awaken this divinity within themselves, and to guide them and to help them kind of like create that uh you know help masses of people to grow into that. Essentially, that is my purpose. Yeah, your purpose cannot just be focused on yourself. Your purpose has to be something that you feel is worth it to bring into this world. And I believe that we need to we are destined for greatness. We're destined to become something much greater. And yeah, so that is my purpose. Now, I've been told about this when I was 14, but of course I didn't understand it. But the lady that was reading the cards for me, she was telling me that my purpose is essentially um, to help people get in contact with their higher self. I didn't understand what that would mean, right? On another occasion, I was told that I'm the light bearer or somebody who is a light bearer, essentially helping people to elevate their consciousness in some way or another to create this new species, if that makes sense. So that is my purpose. That's why I'm here. I'm here to help people get in touch with their higher self. Essentially, that's what I'm doing. You know, and that's going to take on very very big, a very very huge form. By the way, this what you're seeing here is the like is nothing compared to what it's going to become. So just follow along. You will see. Can you hold on? Can your purpose be completing the great work, or is that too small? That is up to you, my friend. That is completely up to you. It's for you to choose. If it's your purpose, it's your purpose. There's no purpose that is small, if that makes sense. It is about your calling. What is it that you need to do? You know. All right. What's up, Frank? That's a great purpose you have. I would say my purpose is to encourage men to leave the West to save them from their miserable existence. I bet it is. I bet it is. You talk about nothing else, man. Yeah, I bet it is your purpose. That's good. That's good. Keep, bro. We need to change something. Like, not me. I'm gonna leave. I'm leaving, so I don't give a fuck, really. But, dude, how are you gonna get married in the Western world, bro? As a man, that's like that is a really bad move. But I'm not gonna talk about that today, right? It's really hard to make that decision, to make that call for people. It's just a rigged game. You get what I mean? All right. Okay. I love putting beauty and art in the world, and also to and also I want to wealthy so I can help the children that are born into unfortunate circumstances or just have low self-esteem and to move into a positive direction. That's a great purpose. Yeah, that's good. As magicians, as beings made in the image of the all, are we really power incarnate or are we the controllers of power? Um, Power incarnate. Controllers of power. Well, we're the controllers of power, I would say. I don't think we're power is essentially the ability to influence. That is not the core of what we are. That's a subset of our abilities, but it's not the core of what we are. You know, the controllers of power versus power incarnate. Well, power incarnate just means the power in the flesh, which I don't like. I'm not just a set of energy. You know, there's awareness and consciousness that directs the power. So I think we're the controllers of power. Frank, do you believe physical immortality can become a reality for humanity? 100% I believe that. Yes. Yes. We're only a couple decades away from that. 100%. I really really researched that field. I'm really interested in it. So I am kind of like I'm really uh like educated on that topic. I know the science. I know the cutting edge science. I know the books on that topic. I know the papers that are being published. I watch a lot of interviews on that topic. So yes, 100%, I believe it is possible. Not just possible; it's going to become a reality within the next couple of decades. Which is like, what does that mean, right? What does that mean for humanity and our understanding of ourselves, right? If that becomes a possibility. Hold on. 1 second. Jesus. Do you think after most of us ascend spiritually, we can finally be eternally in control of whatever destiny we choose? Do you think after most of us ascend spiritually, we can finally be eternally in control of whatever destiny we choose? But I don't think so, because that would mean that the end, the game has ended. If you're completely in control of every little aspect of existence, there's literally no point to this game anymore. You see, so there must be challenges. If you think about it, If that ascension is really like an expansion of consciousness to a large degree, one of the most valuable things would be others like you, others that are exploring and experiencing this stuff with you, and that you can play games with and have experiences with. You see what I mean? So you will find a similar you will experience a similar problem when it comes to relationships, right? A lot of people want 100% control in the relationship, but what would that really mean? Having control, 100% control over your partner in a relationship. It means that you're with a robot. So it means there's absolutely zero fun, zero, um, you know, zero uncertainty, which makes it completely boring, which means the game is over. Now, I wouldn't want that. That's why I would never put a love spell on a girlfriend that I have. Never did that. I would never put a love spell on a girlfriend that I have because of that reason. Doesn't make sense, right? So, um, no, I don't. To answer your question, no, I don't think so because that would mean that the game's over. Frank, to be honest, we need a new species. I feel like we need a better type of human being. I believe so too. Absolutely. And the potential is with us. The potential is there. It's just that up to this point in time, we didn't have all the tools to make it happen. You see, what I mean? And a lot of people need a lot of help with that. Frank, I need your wisdom. Can you explain in your own words the teaching the observer's observer, the observer's observer, the observer's observer? Well, the only thing that comes to mind here would be a state of consciousness where you are aware of your own awareness. That's really it. Now, that can be attained through meditation. You become aware of your own awareness, but at the same time, you're also aware of your own like sensory perceptions. They're like there's the conscious mind, and there's the subconscious mind, and then there's the unconscious or a part of you that is plugged into the collective unconscious. And then there's also an observer that can experience through all of those different levels. So I would say that's probably it. The observer of the observer. That's what that would be it. Greetings, what's up, frequency? If I got bored of one of my girls, I'd just get more Western. Hold on. All right. If I got bored of one of my girls, I'd just get more women to have to think about it. Keeping other women around keeps the girl submissive in my case now. Yeah, I'm sure that works. I'm sure that works. Um, yeah, I'm sure that works to an extent. Yeah. Yeah. Jesus. Frank, why do some people not want more in life? The only thing they want to do is work, party, and a few vacations. Why do some people not think about greatness? I think they just gave up. I think they just gave up because they don't know how to do it. I think everybody wants that, but it's like what I described earlier. It's they don't know how how to make it happen. They don't know how to find their purpose. They don't know how to align their life with their purpose. So they get into like a job. They get into a lot of responsibilities. They get a mortgage, and then they have to keep this staying in the hamster wheel, if you will. Okay, the rat race. They're in the rat race, and that's where they're stuck, and they can't afford to leave. They can't afford to do this and that and the other. You can see that with a lot of marriages too. Most men in marriages are not being respected at all. There's zero respect from their women, mostly because these guys are not living in their purpose. You see, as a man, it is your duty to find your purpose and live your purpose, so that your woman can experience your true self. You see, it's an energetic thing. You know, you should all read this book, The Way of the Superior Man. It is your duty as a man to find your purpose and live your life in your purpose. It is not necessarily about money. Now, if you live your purpose and you live aligned with your purpose, most likely you will make a lot of money, you see, but as a byproduct. It's an energy thing, guys. Your woman wants your energy. So, what is the energy that you're creating? What is the energy that you're living by? And that is the gift that you're giving your woman. So, bottom line is a lot of guys are not in alignment with their purpose. So they have no way of becoming the king. And since they're not the king, they are powerless, and they are in marriages where they're not being respected. They have no real power. And as a result of that, it's a miserable life and they can't escape it. They're trapped. See? I always I always tell myself the only opportunities I get is those that I create. Mhm. That's good. I see what you're saying, Frank. The experience wouldn't have meaning if we were aware of everything, and dictators of the past loved having control of others. Yes. Then the game would be over. And what is life without games? What is life without excitement? What is life without learning? It's like meaningless, you know? Good even and all. Frank, does a person's purpose in life always have to be good or of a positive outcome? Yes, I do believe so. Because here's what's going to happen, my friend. Deep down, believe it or not, deep down, 90% of people are actually good people. What does that mean? They don't want to harm their environment, nor do they want to harm other people. The only thing that makes people harm other people and the environment is that they don't know any other way to interact with the world. Their options right now seem so limited that they have to hurt or do or steal. You see what I mean? That's how most criminals are produced too. Most people don't steal because they think it's great to steal. They steal because they think they have no other option. So, what happens when people do that? When people do bad things, they will usually self destruct because part of themselves, will stop them from hurting the world more or hurting other people. So they will sabotage themselves. Okay, they will make themselves get caught. They will self sabotage in some way or another. So the reason for that is because deep down, 90% of people are actually good people that want good things for others. They don't want to hurt. They don't want to destroy. But circumstances force them. They think they're forced to do the bad stuff. So your purpose must be something that helps the world and improves it. Otherwise, it's not going to work. You're going to self-destruct. When you reach high level of occult power, does everything bow to your perspective? Everything answers to your answer? Well, like I said, no. And it shouldn't, because then the game would be over. It's the same answer that I gave Rogan Osrin. The game never ends. Hopefully, the game never ends. You always have something else to learn. You will only be challenged at a higher level. Your power grows, your understanding grows, and boom, the next challenge will be shown by the universe. You never stop learning. Perfection only looks like perfection from the outside. What you consider high level of skill in another person is just from your perspective a high level of skill. Deep down within themselves, they're still learning. All the people that you learn from, all the people that you study, all the people that you consider masters of their craft. Yes, to you, they're masters, but there's never an end to learning because they're learning still. They're still daily in a constant process of growth and evolution. You see? So it never ends. It never ends.
there's no end to the complexity of mind and consciousness, and therefore the evolution never ends. You know. Frank, I had an amazing conversation with a teacher at my job. She says it had a lot challenges with it. Akira, you need to seriously check your punctuation. You need to seriously check your there are so many, like, it's really confusing to read that, and it's a little bit annoying, okay? And as far as I can see, you're the only one that does it. Okay, so if other guys can do that, you can do it too. Please write. This is not one sentence. This is like three sentences in one. Check your punctuation. When is use capital letters, small letters. Use some punctuation. Frank, I had an amazing conversation with a teacher at my job. She says it had a lot of challenges with it, but what made her happy, she was able to save young children who already had depression. Okay, I understand what you're saying, but please try to improve on how you post your questions. Okay, would make it a lot easier for me. Thank you. I have noticed when you keep yourself on a certain thought and emotional frequency, you eventually attract what you entertain. Absolutely. In your own words, how does one maintain and enrich his connection with the universe? A lot of internal work. You need to be introspective. Your connection to the universe, or the interface to the universe, is your mind. That includes subconscious mind, unconscious mind, whatever. So you need to be deeply introspective. And as you are introspective, through things like a journal, through things like dream work, through things like meditation, through things like yoga, through things like, you need to look within. Your attention needs to go within. You need to explore your inner consciousness. And that at the same time expands your reach and your experience of the universe. Is there a being that knows everything there is to know in the universe? No, that being would be destroyed. It would not exist, because a being that knows everything there is to know in the universe has no purpose of existence anymore. The purpose of existence is growth. And when the end stage of that is reached, it means that the game ends and the being ceases to exist. So that would hopefully never be the case, because that means that existence keeps moving on and keeps expanding forever. So, no, there is no being that knows everything. Now, there could be a being that knows everything about this universe, but that being has to be beyond this universe. That means, because if there is something like a God, the God cannot be from this universe, because otherwise it cannot be all knowing. If it is in everything, it will cease to exist. You get what I mean? If it knows everything, it would cease to exist, because life and existence is a game of growth. If everything is known to that being, there is no game anymore, because all players are controlled by the same being. You get what I mean? So there is no game. It's absolute boredom, no purpose for existence anymore. And if there is no purpose for existence, there is no existence. Yeah. So that being does not exist in this universe. Frank, what's an effective way to enhance our genius and creativity? My friend, you are a genius. Everybody's a genius in some way or another. You just have to allow that genius to come through. And you do that by aligning your life with your purpose. Uh, that's what I never got about Christianity and why people end up believing it. They just end up a spiritual slave to some pagan god in the afterlife. Yep, that is the case. Absolutely. That's what's up. All right. Frank, I recently started your method of manifestation. Do we simply experience it internally till it becomes real and it manifests? Um, well, yeah, yeah. The most powerful way of manifesting things is the way that I teach it is through Reiki. Okay. So whenever I give Reiki attunements, I teach the people how to use Reiki to manifest with it. All right. So that's where people get a lot of good results with their manifestation because the process of manifesting things is essentially you have the difference between an idea and physical reality is just the amount of energy in there. Okay, physical matter is just condensed energy. So why do we need emotions when we visualize things? Because emotions are energy in motion. So you're able to put energy into the visualization. Now, that's some energy, but oftentimes it's not enough. So people visualize and visualize and visualize. They don't get the results because there's not enough energy in the thing. However, if you use Reiki, you can energize the thought with much more energy and will manifest for you much, much quicker. Okay. And anyone who wants to get a Reiki attunement, message me on Facebook and we can schedule that and we can make that happen. Okay. But that's one of the most powerful ways of manifesting that I know, using Reiki to manifest for you. Why do some people come up with amazing ideas than others do? Is it because they are following their purpose? Yeah, that's one factor, following their purpose. On the other hand, there are certain ways to be creative and not be creative. You see, in order to be creative, I mean, let's look at the word. What does it mean to be creative? The etymology of creative means you have to cause to exist. Causing something to exist means that you have to access a certain state of mind from where you are at cause, right? Now, most people create in situations where they have to be creative, but that's a state of mind and a state of energy where you are at effect. Example: they have problems with like financial problems, and now they have to generate some income. But in order to generate something, you have to be at cause. You have to cause to exist. That's creation. You have to create something, which means you have to cause it to exist. You're not a cause at that point. You're at effect. You're affected by that situation. So it kills it destroys your creative ability. That's one factor. So you have to like creativity comes through like what's the word? You have to have internal space and peace of mind in order to be creative too. You see what I mean? And you have to get yourself into the right state of mind. And yes, being aligned with your purpose absolutely helps. Another factor is you have to like have mental capacity for it. You can't be constantly worried. You know, Frank, how does healing work? For example, healing manifestation. Um, well, there's an energy field around everything, right? And you can, through energy, through energetic manipulation, you can change the energy field around something. And the result of that is going to be a physical manifestation of healing. I never fully understood what Reiki. I never fully understood what Reiki was. Do you infuse energy in certain parts of your body and release it to manifest? No, Reiki is essentially you get when you get initiated into Reiki, you get connected to an energy source outside of yourself and that you can tap into, and it flows through you. Essentially, you call upon Reiki, it flows through you, and wherever you direct it, you're energizing things. And that energy can be used to heal. That energy can be used to manifest, and that energy can be used to cleanse things. Yeah. Yeah. Can you hear me? 'Cause I'm Frank, can you explain the IAO banishing formula? I'm interested in using it in my practice. Well, the IAO, it's essentially these are that's a little bit of like there's some science behind it, some occult science. IAO, Yao, that's how you pronounce it. Yao represents it represents creation in itself. You know, they say in the beginning there was the word, right? That's what the Bible says. But in reality, it's sound. In the beginning, there was sound, and we know that sound is mainly vibration, and it structures existence. So, how do you symbolize beginning and end, alpha and omega, through sound? Yao, yao. Okay, so these three sounds. You can't do that with t t t t t r l m. You can only do that with those three sounds. Yao. Meaning, it's a. Do you see that? It's like an opening and closing. Yao. Okay. So those three sounds, they have a certain vibration and frequency that represents beginning and end. All right. So when you do that, when you use the IAO formula, you're symbolizing a couple of things. You're symbolizing um, that the closing of a cycle, beginning and end. Boom, you come back into your center. You become the center of your own universe. You know, all kinds of different things are symbolized with that, right? And at the same time, you create some visualizations that put you into the center of your own universe. You know, that's really what it is. It's like you become centered through it. Yeah. So it's a banishing in a sense that you just remove yourself from all other thoughts. You bring yourself back into your own center. Yeah. Yao. A lot of those letters they're pronounced in a Latin. That's a Latin pronunciation. Okay, so it's not an IAO. IAO. That's how an English speaker would pronounce it. But you pronounce all of those letters in the rituals. You pronounce them in, like you would pronounce Latin. Okay, Yao, Yao. Yeah. Can you hear me? 'Cause I'm lost. Dude, I already know, bro. I have a question. Do you think complete freedom exists in this world? Complete freedom. No, but I mean it leads back to this other point that we had. Is there a complete power, or is there complete knowingness over everything? No, there are no absolutes in this universe, my friends. Absolutes do not, once again, absolutes lead to the end of a game. Monopoly. Let's say one player has all the money. It's an absolute concentration of the money with one player. The game's over, right? And the same with all other things, my friend. There is no absolute and complete freedom, because then the game's over. You don't need other players anymore, and boom, the game's over. You see what I mean? So no, there are no absolutes in this universe. There's no absolute positive. There's no absolute negative. Everything exists in a gradation. That's what it's called. It's like a, yeah. It's not an absolute. Essentially, that's what it means. It's not absolute in one way or another. Yeah. The problem is, see, my friend, we deal with mental concepts all day, and we try to impose those mental concepts onto the world. However, we forget that the world, meaning the physical world, the physical universe, operates based on slightly different principles than the mental world. This is the problem of philosophers. Philosophers live in a world of concepts and ideas, but those concepts and ideas deal with the world that is often very, very different. And then they wonder why their philosophies and why their concepts of reality, why their politics don't work, because it's ideology. Ideology lives in an ideal realm. Ideal means it's a pure realm of thought where you can think up anything that you want, right? But you, when you test it in the physical world, it's usually very, very different. You see. Now, this is also, by the way, the problem of a lot of people in this field of witchcraft. It's all mental. Never, like there are physical conditions that need to be taken into account as well. A lot of those guys don't do that. Yeah. Frank, I don't have a talent for spirituality and witchcraft, but I have gotten results. I also refuse to give up. What do you recommend to progress further in my studies, manifestations, and life? Well, don't practice witchcraft. Witchcraft is a um, is a technology of the mind that is not the best technology of the mind. There are better technologies of the mind. Witchcraft is something for the Middle Ages. It's a much better way to extract the techniques from witchcraft and use them in a modern way, which is what I teach in the life coaching that I'm going to put out soon. Okay, so my recommendation would be that you join the life coaching that I'm going to teach. Which is, it's going to teach about business, how to create like a location independent businesses and stuff like that, how to create income, but also it's going to teach you how to access the powers of your mind. See, and that's what I would recommend you do. Forget witchcraft. Forget about that, because most of it is just a trap, and it's confusing, and it's useless. It's not going to get you any way closer to what you want. But this life coaching that I'm going to put out is actually going to it's actually going to give you what you want. Would you say that too much self-preservation also helps create these constructs of objective principles people think? 101. Would you say that too much self-preservation also helps create these constructs of objective principles people think? Too much self-preservation. Too much self-preservation also helps create these constructs of objective principles people think. I don't really understand your question, to be honest. I don't understand what you're trying to say. I mean, they only focus on themselves and not anyone else. That is, yeah, of course. I mean, it's it begins with focusing on self, yes, but as if you only focus on yourself, you're gonna have a problem. Yes, you're gonna run into problems. With a few words, what are the mechanics of magic? Dude. Bro, I said that so many different times. I'm not gonna repeat myself a million times. Okay, Frank, if you ruled a country, how would you run it? Um, it would be a country where everybody has to agree on the on the rules on how people live together. I mean, the way we have countries running right now, it's essentially like this. Somebody in the past creates like a set of laws, like a constitution, and people are forced to follow the constitution whether they believe in it or not. You don't have a choice to opt out for the most part. Okay, you can theoretically leave the country, but most people don't have the option to leave because it costs too much money or whatever for whatever reason. Like, have you agreed to the laws that you're forced to follow? Most likely you haven't, right? So somebody else has forced laws upon you. In my mind, I think a country would be great if everybody has to agree to the laws that are put out there. I mean, there's almost nobody that's actually free in this world. Okay, like your government owns you, and the government is owned by somebody, by a small group of people. You know, democracy does not exist. It's a joke. So none of us are free in this world, really. So if I ran a country, it would be everybody has to agree on the laws that rule that everybody has to agree on the law of the land. I would write the law, and people that are inside of the country have to agree to it, and then they can stay. If not, they gotta leave. And it would be a country that is based on, um, obviously, if it would be my country, it would be a country that is focused on bringing about my purpose. So what I believe is great. And if other people want to join me in my purpose or they want to help me bring about that purpose, I would be happy to have them in my country and have them as allies and friends and supporters. And that's what it would be. It will be a country where the laws and the rules are based on the purpose that I have, and everybody who wants to join me in that purpose and bring it about, I would gladly have them by my side as friends and fellow countrymen. It would be an incredibly productive country. It would be incredibly peaceful. It would be everybody would help each other. It would be like a big family because the ideals bring people together, right? If people believe in the same things, they are real brothers and sisters. It's about the belief. What do you believe in? I mean, what do you have to do with your neighbors? What do you have to in common with your neighbors? What do you have in common with people in another city, even if it's the same country? And most of those people, you don't even like them. You have more in common with somebody who lives on a different continent but has the same thought process or believes in the same values that you believe in. That's why I believe that in the future, nationalities and countries are going to be less and less important. It's more going to be about, how do I align with the person's values, and based on that, people are going to come together. And that's already the case here. You see, that's already the case on the internet. That's already the case. Frank, if you could choose between the two, would you rather have a bunch of women who are loyal only to you or have billions of cash for the rest of your life? Um, obviously, billions. Obviously, the billions, because it's my purpose. The billions would help me create my purpose, and that's the most important thing for me. I would actually be happy. Look, my friend, I've said many, many times that I actually want multiple women and all that stuff, right? But that's only because I don't have the one woman that is important enough to me, if that makes sense. Or that's not the right way to put it. Not important enough, but I don't have the one woman that I can see help me fulfill my purpose. You see what I mean? If I find a woman that helps me fulfill my purpose and that has my back, I mean, I actually was thinking about that today. What are the qualities that a woman would have to have so that I'm like monogamous with her and want to start a family with her and all that stuff? She would have to have my back. Okay, she has to raise my status in public because that's a woman's job. She has to raise her man's status in public. She has to make him look more powerful in public. You know, um, you know, she has to have the same values that I have. She has to have like she has to be spiritually inclined. And uh, yeah. So basically, those are the couple of things. And I'm sure there is a woman like that out there. And when I find that woman, I'm just she's gonna be like she's gonna play an important role in my life. But because see, I work so much. I fucking work all the time, man. Like I work like all the time. I don't do anything but working. I work out and work. I work, and when I don't work, I work out. Right. So or sleep, obviously. So if I want a family, um, I need a woman that runs the house for sure. And I need a woman that's okay with that. That she runs the house. I don't need a career woman as a wife. All right. It's like, who gives a shit? Are you a lawyer? Oh, wow. Okay. Who gives a fuck? Right. So we can have one woman who we really love and the rest of women who are soldiers who serve us. I know having many options of women now has made me too arrogant. Okay. It's good for you. That works. Frank, do you believe Elon Musk will be successful with his plans for Mars? Yeah, but not before 2040. You know, I think I think people underestimate how hard that actually is, including him, I guess. So, Musk is good at, he missed so many targets. He has so many predictions, but he missed a lot of them. So I think he's going to reach that goal, but it's going to take longer than he thought. So yeah, say in the next 20 years, maybe. Um, Thanks for the value, Frank. I managed to change my life in finance with your teachings as well as overall life. You have my gratitude, brother. That's what I'm here for, man. Thank you for saying that. I'm glad to hear that. That's what we all want. Perfect. All right. Do we have some more questions, guys? Do we have some more questions? Okay. So I hope you got something out of this, guys. I hope you got the message of it's important to know your purpose, guys. It's very, very important to know your purpose. If you guys want to get initiated into Reiki, message me on Facebook, and I'm sure we can make that happen because somebody was asking about manifestations. This is the way to manifest the quickest. All right, Reiki. It's life changing for sure. All right, good. I hope you got something out of this. Peace. I'm out, and talk to you soon. Bye bye.